Hello once again, watchers of The Walking Dead. My name is Nick Pell.
I'm Anna.
Alright, and this is the review of the mid-season finale of Season 4 called Too Far Gone, and it was great, and it was awesome, and it was bloody, and I loved it.
I don't think we're going to have to worry about me spoiling things this time. You're already headed there.
That was broad.
Yeah, but you're getting close.
Okay, so, yeah, like she said, spoilers will entail this episode, obviously, because we'll be talking about the mid-season finale of Season 4, so...
And we'll be talking probably a little bit about Season 3.
Yeah, a bit, probably. Since
so if you haven't finished Season 3, go finish it and then come back.
And then watch Season 4.
Oh, yeah. Watch Season 4 first and then come back.
Yeah. Alright, so...
Just binge it.
Jumping into it really quick.
Nope, we're not going to jump into it.
So the episode starts out, once again, with the governor. This is the third time that we have an episode which has started out with the governor and focuses for about the first fourth of the episode on him. He's essentially giving a pep talk, more or less, or a reason for why they need to go and attack the prison, and essentially rallying the troops around his cause. And this is where it does start to go back into the comics, which I loved and I was really excited about. Because while
Such a purist.
Shut up. While they didn't kill the same people as they did in the comics, they did it in the same way, which was something that I really, really liked. So.
Wait, who did they kill in the comics?
I'm not going to tell you because you're still reading the comics.
Well, you already told me one of them. I was just asking who the other person was.
Well, these people, these fine people who are watching this video, might not want to know.
Spoilers from the comics. Now tell me. Please.
I'll get to it. Okay, so he does that, and we move into the prison for the first time in a very long time. It seems.
It was actually a little hard to get back into the prison because it really picked up right exactly where it left off.
Yeah.
3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And so it was really weird because you had to remember what was happening 3 episodes ago.
Yeah. So we first see Maggie and Glenn just we see Glenn recovering from the flu, and we see Maggie just kind of comforting him, being all lovey-dovey, like married couples tend to do. Yeah, that's that. And then we also have Rick and wow, I'm blanking on his name.
Daryl.
Daryl, thank you. Okay, we have Rick and Daryl. Rick has told Daryl that Carol was the one who killed the 2 sick people, and that he has abandoned her. And Daryl obviously deals with this.
He's kind of pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed, but he's not as pissed as I really was expecting him to be, because for the last 3 seasons, Daryl and Carol, have been having essentially like a
weird relationship.
Yeah.
Where like nothing really happens, but a really close friendship. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just weird.
Yeah. But so he deals with that, and then they go to tell Tyrese, and Tyrese shows them this rat who has been dissected. And
was it a rat or a frog? I thought it was a frog.
I thought it was a rat. Because it was the rats that were poisoning the people, and they talked about the rats at the gates.
But it had really, really long back legs.
Figured. Okay. It's either a rat or a frog.
It's a frog.
Going with the rats. And flashing lights.
It's the snowplow. It snowed here today.
It did.
Not that much.
And then right when they find the dissected animal, we see a huge bang or an explosion, and we see the governor's at the gates with a tank. And his army...
he's not exactly at the gates. He's kind of just at the fence.
Same thing at this point.
It doesn't sound as good, though, as at the gates to say at the fence.
Cover your mouth.
I'm purposely being a pain tonight.
I can tell.
Anyways.
So he's at the fence, and he wants to talk with Rick, which I thought was a very interesting turn of events. He's not just going to blast his way in and kill everybody right from the get-go. He goes and tries to talk with Rick. Rick eventually goes down to chat, and we have a very interesting dialogue which happens between Rick and the governor. We have the governor who's saying, "Let us into the prison. We have nowhere else that we can really go.
And we're coming in anyways."
Yeah, and we have these two hostages. They have Herschel and they have Michonne. They have guns to both of their heads. Rick, on the other hand, seeing that he doesn't really have any other choice in the matter, offers the governor and his people essentially a place in the prison. They would be in their own cell block. The two groups would never have to see each other until they were both ready to kind of deal with each other. And he does this really actually cool speech. And for a second, I almost thought that the series was going to go with it and have like the governor's people kind of abandon the governor and just go into the prison, kind of like in Lion King 2, how the lions abandoned Sarabi. I don't know why I just made it, but it popped into my head as I was talking. And well, that's a great comparison, actually. And,
oh my god.
But no, it does not happen.
But I think if they had done that, had the two groups move in, it could have too easily become like a sitcom. And this is just my mind being weird, but I would have felt like it was too easily for it to turn sitcom-like.
I don't know. I think it would have just created huge tensions between the two, because anything that possibly have gone wrong would have been blamed on the other group, and it would have just eventually caused some sort of fighting to escalate eventually.
And I also don't think it would have moved the storyline along.
Yeah,
I think we would have had a show that would become stagnant pretty quickly. Yeah,
it would have been stuck at the prison, and there would be really no outside force unless they were introducing new characters. So, Governor, he hears Rick's speech. At this point, he has a sword to Herschel's throat, and he starts to draw back the sword, and then we see, through the governor's perspective, we see Rick after he's given the speech, and him in his own twisted logic and psychological mind doesn't believe Rick, calls him a liar, and basically slashes at Herschel's throat, and that causes the whole guns blazing thing to start out.
And that's the first person who dies.
He doesn't die right away, though, which is interesting. He starts crawling away as much as he possibly can until the governor eventually catches him and then basically chops off his head. And this is where I will get to the spoiler part from the comics. So if you haven't read the comics or you don't want to know about the comics, mute the video for about 10 seconds or however long until I give you a thumbs up signal, then you can unmute it. So in the comics, it is Tyrese who gets killed instead.
Oh, that's right, you told me that.
Yeah, okay. In the comics, Tyrese has a much bigger role in the comics. He is introduced within the first few issues of the comics, and he is in the story for a much longer period of time. And so he is the one who gets captured by the governor eventually, and he gets his head chopped off.
Well, and I mean that makes sense because you don't have Daryl in the comics.
Yeah.
Daryl's an add-in character that they put in the pilot who was supposed to die pretty much right away.
Yeah.
And fans liked him so much that they said, well, we can't really kill him off right now.
Yeah, and right now. So that's how that's kind of dealt with. In the comics, Tyrese is essentially Rick's right-hand man. So it's kind of that initiation of the show. Herschel and Daryl are kind of Rick's right-hand men. So, end of that spoiler talk. Thanks for pausing the video, people, or muting it.
If they paused it, they'd be stuck in the same place they were before we started talking.
That'd be awkward.
Unintentional spoiler.
Yeah. So then we have this huge firefight. All hell is broken loose. The tank has busted through the gates, or not the gates, the fences.
The fences.
And,
which was really stupid because now the prison is useless.
Yeah, it essentially is. And the governor is so hell-bent on this idea of killing everybody in the prison Um, even though Rick and his group essentially haven't really done a lot. He admits to Herschel and Michonne earlier in the episode that he is aware that his daughter is dead now, and it kind of seems like he's just kind of using them to get Rick to talk to him, and you almost think that he is still this changed person, but then you see like he just tells all his men to kill them all, and we see that no, he is probably more villainous than he was in season 3. And so we have Governor's men, they're drowning.
You're missing a huge point. You are skimming over a huge thing that happens.
What?
So, when the governor rides off to go take over the prison, we still get glimpses back at his camp. See? He finally figured it out. Took him long enough.
I forgot that bit.
So, no, let me talk.
Fine.
You forgot this, now it's my turn. We still like you, don't worry. So we get glimpses back into the camp where, what's his girlfriend's name? His girlfriend and her daughter, Megan, are hanging out. And they're by a river, and he tells her before he leaves, you don't have to worry about zombies crossing the river, they can't do it, it's safe right here. So he leaves, the girlfriend's hanging out on top of the camper, and Megan, the little girl, is off digging in the mud. And the girlfriend gets distracted because she sees this zombie start to try and cross the river, which doesn't happen, kind of falls and gets swept away. But what she doesn't see is, while she's watching that, her daughter's over in the field digging in the mud and is trying to get a sign out, which is a flash flood warning sign.
Yeah. Which
is hard to read, but it does say that. When she gets the sign out, you see her cleaning it off, and all of a sudden, like, there's these fingers coming through the dirt that grab her, and she starts screaming, and the girlfriend comes running over just as she gets bit, and then we go back to the prison where the governor's currently hacking off Herschel's head.
Yay! Okay.
So that's that.
Yeah, that I was actually kind of expecting, especially when we started seeing the zombie rising out of the dirt. I was like, please let some innocent person get bitten finally. So I was really kind of hoping for it to happen because as we see later in the episode, as the governor is starting his crusade into the prison, the girlfriend is carrying Megan's body and
shows up at the prison.
Yeah. And he shoots Megan in the head to stop her from turning, and that's
when he totally is no longer Brian, but back to the governor.
Yeah. Are we good now? Can I continue?
You're the one who forgot it. Okay, it was a really important point of the show.
It was. I apologize. I have done it.
This is going to be a long video, just for you guys.
It is. It's a mid-season finale. They know what to expect. And so, we're going to do one of these for Scandal, too.
If I ever get caught up.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Might be a little late.
So, we have the governor going into the prison. We have his men in cars shooting up the place. He has a tank, which is going around... blowing the buildings apart.
Big ass holes in the wall.
Nobody actually is seen getting killed by the tank, though, which is...
by the tank,
yeah,
but shot,
Yeah, people get shot, but it's just like side characters for the most part.
Like ones who never have a name.
Yeah, and I think when Rick is fleeing, he gets shot in the leg, briefly.
Briefly? Can you get briefly shot?
Yeah.
This is the thing? Is this the thing? I don't think it can briefly be shot.
Shut up. So he's hiding, and we have Daryl who's trying to get everybody onto the bus, just anyone who essentially can't really fight or needs to get away. They're trying to find the kids, and it was really interesting because we saw echoes of Carol with the kids, because the one who's been like going through all this like crazy crap.
The one we think is a psychopath.
The one she thinks is
The one I think is a psychopath.
She essentially is telling everyone, no, we have to stand and fight, because that's what Carol taught us to do. And in a sense, I understand that because, yeah, I mean, you want to help out, and it's good that they did, or else Tyrese would have gotten killed. So I don't know. I kind of liked it because we see like that. Yes, they can defend themselves. So they are like possible main characters and fighters in the remainder of season 4. That being said, I don't know how far they'll survive in the rest of the season. But we see that Carol did teach them something about self-defense, and her methods were not in vain, and the reasons that she did things were not entirely in vain. So we see that. What else is there?
We see the group get split.
Towards the
Hugely.
end. Towards the end, yeah. They're all.
But it's starting to happen right at the point you're talking with the kids fighting back.
Okay, yeah. Tyrese kind of gets separated from people. We have Maggie. She goes into the hospital to get Glenn. She gets Glenn onto the bus. She gets separated along with Beth, I think.
Beth.
And,
Well, Maggie gets separated not just from Glenn, but also from Beth.
Yeah.
And then you have Dr. Bob and getting separated, getting shot.
Sasha that they were
and
with?
Sasha.
Okay.
So Maggie, Dr. Bob, and Sasha. Is it Bob or Tom?
Yeah, it's Bob.
It's Bob. Okay. All get separated in one group, and then you have the bus, which is most of the people, and then there's like Tyrese and Daryl and Beth, who are. Daryl and Beth are together, and Tyrese is God knows where. The kids are running around like psychos.
Yep. So yeah.
And then you have Rick and
the
Carl.
governor. Well no,
Rick and
before
the
we get to
governor.
that,
Before we get to that,
we have Rick and the governor just going at it in basically a punching match, and I love that part because
Rick's getting the crap beat out of him.
Yeah, he really is, and for a second I thought that they might kill off Rick because that would be a very, very interesting change to the show. I don't know. I thought it would have been really interesting, but right before Rick is about to essentially be killed, because the governor has his throat in his hands and he's squeezing, trying to suffocate him, Michonne takes her sword, stabs him right in the chest, and that is more or less the end of the governor. Rick gets away. Michonne goes back, looks over the governor, sees that he's essentially done, and then just walks off, which I kind of had respect for because she had all this bent up rage.
Did you just say bent up or pent up?
Pent up. Pent up, that's the word. Hey, it's the banana demon.
Who's ignoring us.
Okay. And so...
he lives here, sort of.
Yeah, kind of. He's grabbing him. So we have Michonne. She looks over the governor, sees that she could torture him and get total revenge for everything that he's done to her, but she chooses to walk away instead. And that was very...
Instead, she helps Rick back up to the prison.
Yeah. We don't really see her.
We don't see what happens to her for the end of the episode. She gets him back up there, and then she kind of disappears once Rick's with Carl.
Yeah.
But it's really, really interesting, because in the last 2 scenes, second to last scene, you see, again from the governor's point of view, he's lying in the field right now, staring up, and he sees his girlfriend walking over with the gun.
Yeah.
And she takes it and shoots him.
Yep.
And that's the end of the governor.
Yeah. And,
which I had a feeling something like that was going to happen, because they just couldn't, there was no way they were going to let her just walk away without after having her daughter killed.
Yeah. Because, she
and
sees...
him lying him to her.
She sees, like, all this chaos and death that he's caused, and, it's never really vocalized, but you can kind of tell she's figured out that he's this terrible person, and he is more or less the reason that her daughter is now dead. And So she takes him out. In the comics, he's taken out in kind of a similar way, but in a different way. So it's if you read the comics, you know what I mean by that. So I won't get into it. But the last scene, shut up, that we see is we have Rick and Carl. They are trying to find Judith. They see her. What is it called?
Car seat.
I thought that's what I thought it was. Okay.
Which is the stupidest thing to have in a zombie apocalypse, because those things weigh so much. Yeah. It's easier just to carry the baby in your hands instead of in a car seat. Yeah. Stupid thing.
So they see Judith's car seat and they walk over to it, and we're not exactly sure what we're supposed to make of that because she's not in the car seat.
But
so we don't.
Blood.
There's blood. So we don't know if she's supposed to have been eaten or if she has been taken by one of the survivors and is on the bus or something, or what is happening with that.
And that was the one point where you and I were both like, what?
Yeah.
We just kind of like, does this mean? Because for Rick and Carl, they think she's dead.
Yeah.
But watching it, you're like, you know the rule, unless you actually see the dead body, they're not really dead.
Yeah.
Or you see them die, they're not dead.
Yeah.
Which is a whole theory I have about Avengers. Totally different story we're not going into.
Okay.
Wholesome.
He's alive, obviously. He's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know, this isn't, no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of like a prequel.
No, it's not. It's after. It's a sequel to Avengers.
It is?
Yes, it takes place after the events of the Avengers. It covers Thor: The Dark World.
You told me it was a prequel.
No, I did not.
He did. I swear, I have it in writing somewhere.
Anyway. So last shot.
So wait,
no, we're not doing this now.
But I'm curious.
I don't care right now. We'll talk about it after. So last shot, we have Rick and Carl essentially going off into the forest. And this does mimic the comic because after the prison falls in the comic, it is Rick and Carl on their own for a little while, and then stuff happens. And it'll be a very interesting second half to season 4. This did kind of what I was expecting it to. They're going to wrap up the prison with these last 8 episodes, and then they're going to move on to the next storyline. And since they have casted characters like Abraham and Eugene, it should be kind of a guideline for where the show is going to go in these next few episodes. So overall, great first half of the season, I thought.
It's a good mid-season finale.
Yeah,
too.
very, very good mid-season finale. I had everything I wanted. They ended the prison in a way that I thought did it justice. They followed the comics almost to the dot. Like, there's some differences.
I think
obviously.
you're looking for to the T.
Whatever. Don't be questioning. And yeah, I thought they did a really good job. So.
Now I can talk?
Yeah, now you can talk.
It took you long enough.
Well, I like the show.
I know you do, so do I. I thought it was very good. I really did. I was like, the only part that, there were only 2 points that had me like confused.
Okay.
And that was one, when you first go back to the prison, in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, and it wasn't bad, it was just a little awkward. And could have probably been a smoother transition.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because you could have started with Rick having a line like, I need to talk to you about Carol. Saying something like that to Daryl.
Yeah.
And then the other part that was a little awkward was just the whole Judith thing at the end.
Yeah.
And I felt like that could have been handled more definitively.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of the watchers, because it's really horrible to kill a baby. And if you're going to kill a baby, you actually need to just own up to the fact.
Yeah, I agree.
And move on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, otherwise, I thought it was really good, and I really liked seeing the end of the governor, because he was a great character.
Yeah.
And it's really nice when they end a character in a justifiable way.
Yes. I agree. I'm kind of sad to see him go, honestly, because, like you said, he was such a good character. That it'll be a little empty without him now.
They'll
Because
find a new evil character soon.
the thing is, as far as I am in the comics, there isn't really an evil character that has really matched up to the Governor at this point. And there isn't really any big bad character yet either. So
They always have the zombies.
they have the zombies, yeah, but
Those are always nice evil
Yeah,
characters,
yeah.
sort of. They're not really evil.
yeah.
They're just dead.
So, what do you guys think will be in store for the second half of season 4? That run, that was awesome.
Do you
And
did they put up a promo already for
No.
the next?
No.
Ugh, I hate waiting for those things.
Yeah, that won't happen until probably like January, because the next season, the next half comes out I think in February.
Yeah, so it'll be a
we'll
while
have
until you guys see us again.
unless we do a Scandal mid-season finale review.
Which means I have a lot of Scandal. I have
It's
to
true.
watch.
It's such a good show.
Don't tell Nick that I have that much Scandal to watch.
Sorry, what?
No.
Okay.
I will tell you how many episodes I have to watch if you tell me if they explain what happened to Coulson in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after he gets shot.
I'll tell you if they explain it.
They haven't?
They allude to it. But they
This is
don't
not
in detail.
fair, Marvel.
Like favorite comment and subscribe if you such use. I'd appreciate it immensely. I appreciate it if you have sat through this whole however long this is.
We actually haven't been that long. It's only been like 25 minutes.
Oh, only 25 minutes. That's the longest that we've done that.
Maybe not even that. I don't know. It hasn't been that long. How would you know? You're the one who's talked the whole time.
Thank you for watching all of these episode reviews. This is the first time I've done these types of things, so leave in the comments suggestions or whatnot for us to do better for the second half. And yeah, we'll see you in February, more than likely. My name is Nick Pell.
I'm slightly exasperated.
And she is Anna Romskog. And
we will see you in February.
yes, we will. And as always, my good people, keep on watching.
Have a good Christmas, too.
Don't get killed by zombies.
No. Always carry a sword.
Yes, or a machine. Or a crossbow.
Crossbows are pretty good.
Crossbows are good.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Alright, have a good Christmas, you guys.
See ya. Or Hanukkah. Or whatever religious
Holiday. Happy holidays!
That's better.